All right, good morning everyone. We are going to continue here with the second chapter of your political science in CBSE, and that's basically the chapter of federalism. Okay, so in federalism we are going to study and continue with certain aspects that we already had in the previous chapter that we had discussed. So let's just recall what we had discussed in previous chapter, because that is a crucial factor in understanding federalism. Okay, so federalism is basically a form of government, but how has it evolved and what are the concepts behind its evolving? Okay, so that's something that we are going to study here. Okay, now in the previous chapter we had studied about or rather role models about Belgium and Sri Lanka. Okay, so these were the two countries and these had different forms of government. One actually became a role model for other countries and the other one actually completely collapsed. Okay, so now we are going to study about Belgium. So as we are not going to study about Belgium and Sri Lanka once again, but we are just going to pick up the fine points so that it helps us in understanding the concepts of federalism. Now in Belgium, what did we have? We have shifting of power from central government to state government. If you recall, in Belgium the model of government was structured in such a way that the entire power shifted from central government to state government. Okay, the entire power was shifting from central government to state government. So state government was actually given powers in order to run their states accordingly. Okay, so now this is a very crucial factor, because see, government at a central level has to manage a lot of affairs more. It has to look at the country on a wider perspective. But when we come to a state, when we come to a region, see, when we keep on narrowing down from the country, it comes to state, then state to district, district to a village taluka maybe. Okay, so all these are basically narrowing down. So when we are narrowing down, the governance becomes more efficient, because at a local level people will be more aware of the problems that they are facing than at a level of a country. Okay, the prime minister of the country might not be happening or might not be aware of what's happening in a small village. So in that case, the efficient form of government system in such a way that it should be given powers. Okay, now if at a village level a certain decision has to be made which is in sync with the welfare of the people of the village, then obviously people are not going to call the prime minister for the same. He has a lot of other things to deal with. People are not going to call the central authorities for the same. Okay, so a decision has to be made so that it is made as soon as possible and it can actually structurize the welfare of the people who are in the village level. So it's very important that this is communicated accordingly. So we have a village level government, we have a state level government, we have a district level government, we have a central level government. So certain powers are bestowed and Belgium basically followed this. Okay, shifting of power from central government to state government. This was a very wise decision made by Belgium authorities. So what they did was they shifted power from the central government to the state government. They ensured that the state governments are efficient and equipped enough to make decisions on their own in order to run their entire state. Okay, so this is a very efficient thing that was basically administered. Okay, now what happened is state government was not subordinate to central government. What we mean by subordinate is basically reporting to. Okay, it means that the state government for everything has to consult the central government. Okay, for every aspect you need not concern the central government. You take a decision on your own and ensure that things are running efficiently in your state for the welfare of your state. Okay, so this was one thing. The state government was not considered subordinate. It is not like this is reporting, the state government is reporting to the central government. Okay, so the state government was not considered. The state government was given free hand in managing affairs. The state government was given free power in managing affairs. Okay, so state government was not considered subordinate to the central government. So we saw how the French and the Dutch communities mingled with each other and how they ensured that the power is equally distributed so that the minority community is not suffering the impacts of the majority. So none of the communities are basically getting hampered. None of the communities are basically getting to pay for something. Okay, so this was the at the government level, the state government was given powers to run the state. They had been given some constitutional rights to function, and at this was basically the state government was not, and that communities also mingled with each other. Okay, now one community shared power with the other community. So what happens is that the French community shared its power with the Dutch community. So there was no communal differences. Okay, although there were different languages, although there were different standard of livings, although there were different lifestyles, but there was no differences between the people. So this became a role model for most of the European countries, and in fact most of the other countries as well. Okay, so Belgium became a role model for most of the countries. Now what we have in so there was, why was it becoming a role model? Because one community shared power with the other community. So this is called power accommodation. Okay, so none of one single community is not outshining the other community. One single community is not dominating the other community, as it happened in Sri Lanka. In case of Sri Lanka, we saw the conflict between the Sinhalas and the Tamilians. Okay, so the Tamilians and Sri Lankas and the Sinhalas were always in a conflict. The Sinhalas dominated the Tamilians and tried to impose laws and systems which were pretty much against the Tamilians. So there was a constant conflict, and that led to one of the most severe civil wars that could ever happen in a country. That led to a huge bloodshed that could ever happen in a country. That led to a huge terrorism outfit within the boundaries of the country itself. Okay, so power accommodation is a very crucial factor. Power accommodation is something that happened in the role of Belgium, because power was accommodated not only in the central and the state governments, but was also accommodated between the various communities. Power was accommodated between the various communities as well. Okay, so this was one thing, that was power accommodation. Then power dilution. What do we mean by power dilution? See, when we are coming down from the central government to the state government, there's a dilution of power. Dilution means, see, when you scientifically, it means the more you mix up a solute in a solvent, the more it actually withers out. Okay, so this is perfect dilution. Okay, because otherwise the entire power will be concentrated in the hands of the central government, and that would make it inefficient to run every nook and corner of the country with absolute efficiency. Okay, so in this case, the power accommodation here means that the power dilution rather means that the power was just not concentrated on the central level, it was diluted as it went down on the other levels. Okay, so this calls for power dilution, and it's a very important aspect. Power accommodation and power dilution go hand in hand. So central government was accommodating with the state government in terms of power, and there was power dilution as well. It's not that the entire power is concentrated in the hands of the central government, it was diluted as well. Okay, so power accommodation and power dilution are very crucial aspects. Now we have regional government was given constitutional power. Okay, so regional government means a government at the state level, a government at the village level, a government at taluka level, a government at the district level, local self government. Okay, so this was given constitutional power, and these are the key aspects of a well to do government, a government which can actually impact the welfare of the people, a government which can ensure that there is no communal strife between the people, a government which can ensure that one particular community is not feeling insecure because of the other community, a minority community is not feeling insecure because of the majority community, and these are certain key aspects of good governance. Okay, so in federalism we are going to take this further. The reason why we had actually considered the role models of Belgium and Sri Lanka in the chapter of power sharing, the reason why we had consulted this is because by means of power sharing, it gives us an indication of how a federal state will work, or how the concept of federalism would be applicable in running the government of a country. So in the next slide, or in the next video, we are going to take the concept of federalism further. Okay, I hope this makes things clearer out here. If you have any questions, you can feel free to comment it in the comment box. I will look forward to answer them if I get the chance, certainly. And I will go ahead and upload the next video of federalism, in which we are going to talk in detail about federalism. This is basically a ladder to federalism. Until unless we understand the concept of power sharing, the concept of federalism will not be clear to us. Okay, so we need to understand the concept of power sharing and summarize it and implement it in order to ensure the concepts of federalism. All right, so we'll take on from the next slide. You can feel free to take a snapshot out here. Thank you so much for your time today.